York's classic rock, Q1043. Tommy Shaw of Styx is with us this morning at Q104.3. It is always a pleasure to welcome you and any of your bandmates to our show. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm great. Nice to be here. Nice to see you guys.
And how's our good friend JY? Is he all right?
He's the man. He's an oak. He's always. He's Mr.
An oak. I like that.
You know, last summer, Shelley introduced you guys at the Festival of Ballooning in New Jersey.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then came into work afterwards and just told me how completely blown away she and the entire audience was by your performance. After all these years, you guys are still electrifying on the stage.
Tommy, you have the moves, man. Oh my God, your energy.
Well, you know, the music is really that's the whole thing. Styx music is so much fun in every aspect. It's fun to write, it's fun to record, it's fun to perform live. Once we've done all that, you know, we're always grateful and you know, happy that we're able to perform it, you know, so that it represents what we've recorded. Because you know, you get in the studio, you can just do you can do a lot of things that you might not necessarily be able to pull off live. But so far, you know, I think we're still pulling our weight.
Oh God, yes.
Well, I remember this goes back over a decade. We had a special surprise concert. So we had this venue filled with listeners, but nobody knew who was going to perform. It was all a big secret. So the place wasn't filled with people who were there to see Styx.
Right.
They were just rock music fans.
Ah.
And you guys came out onto the stage. And even though people didn't know they were going to see Styx, what impressed me is that the audience sang along with almost every song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that goes on. What's pretty cute too is when fans take videos from their seats out there, and you can hear them singing along with you. Not all of them are meant to be recorded lead singers, but their joy of it and willingness to just let it all come out it just blows me away.
Well, after all, as a performer, isn't that what it's all about? To create a joyful experience for audiences?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, that's one of the things that we have at our license to write and perform Styx music is that's where it all comes from. That it's stuff that I guess it's how we were brought up, you know, and that's one of the things that we like about each other. You know, when Lawrence Gowan came into the band, it was after we had met him one time up in Quebec. He opened for us, and I'd heard about him, and I knew the song "Criminal Mind," but you know, you have to see and experience Gowan to get it. And so he was getting the same kind of response that we were hoping to get when we closed the show. The place was going crazy over him, just on grand piano. And it was one of those things where it was like, God, I don't know how this would ever work out, but I would love to work with him someday. And after he saw us play, he told his wife the same kind of things. I could, you know, it was like, this is never going to happen because we're a full band, but you know, life goes on and things change. And there was a lady up there who runs a website for me, Kim Willett, and she was a huge Gowan fan. And when we were suddenly realizing we need a new keyboard player and singer, she was the one who recommended Lawrence. And you know, that's how it all began.
Tommy Shaw of Styx is with us here at Q104.3. You mentioned Quebec, and last week we were having a discussion about poutine on the air. And in fact, you, Tommy Shaw, had some of your earliest success in Quebec, right?
Yes.
I mean, the Quebecois really, they were your first big fan base.
Yeah, we found out later. We thought that Sweet Madam Blue just appealed to their sense of national pride and that sort of thing. Well, we only recently learned that they liked it because of the colors that was for their, I think for their
For the
Montreal.
flag of Quebec is blue and white.
Yes, and for their hockey team.
Yeah.
It was about they loved us because of the hockey connection, and we didn't even know it.
Well, they also loved your song Crystal Ball, right?
I think so. I mean, we've continued to play that up there. In fact, we recently, this is something that was really cool that happened. It didn't have anything to do with Montreal, but we just did a residency at the Venetian in Las Vegas, and Nancy Wilson joined us for all those shows. And I had the whole time when we decided to do that together, it'd be really cool if Nancy and I did something in that song Crystal Ball. And so we wound up, it just kind of, well, she learned, I said, just take the third above me for the verses and we'll try that. And so we did that in sound checks, and we would play it at night, and our voices sounded really good together. And when I wrote that song, there was a verse at the end. There was another verse, but because we added all this other stuff to make it a Styx song, we thought it was too long to do the other verse. So it's just kind of remained, on the shelf for all these years. But not too long ago, I decided, let me just throw it in at the end of it. After the song's Crystal, and then throw it in right there. And it is kind of like an epilogue for the whole song. But I said, Nancy, why don't you and I do the epilogue thing on that song? So we tried it one night and it worked. And then every night after that, we added a little bit more to it. And by the end, we were doing like a stoner Crosby, Stills and Nash jam at the beginning of it, and just riffing, singing. And it was, I wish we'd had another week or so to do it because it was so much fun.
Did she let you play Barracuda with her?
She did. She allowed me to perform Barracuda on stage with her.
I mean, that's a guitar part that every rocker loves.
It was so much fun. I mean, it's like, those are like symphonic parts that the two guitarists did on that record. And they're all, and just so many influences on Jimmy Page influences all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Bankovich and I, we had to do a lot of, that's not something, well, I'm just going to get up here and play Barracuda. Okay, go ahead and do that, but you might want to listen to it a few times. So we did lots and lots of rehearsing to get those parts right. But when we got to do it, it was just so mighty. Our manager, Charlie Busco, was sitting in the audience in the empty seats during sound check, and we played it, and I saw his eyes got big, and he was like, whoa.
It's Tommy Shaw's with us at Q104.3. Obviously, it was a long time ago now when you first joined Styx, but you were joining an established band with an already established catalog. But you brought along your own stuff, your own creativity. You created giant Styx hits that came from your own head, like Fooling Yourself and Blue Collar Man and Too Much Time on My Hands. I mean, you've just had such a wonderful career with them. And I know that Styx fans here in Manhattan were sorely disappointed when your performances at the Beacon Theater had to be postponed. The big show was scheduled for Sunday. Now get this date. Sunday, March 15th, 2020. That was as the world was turning upside down. It was in the process of turning upside down, like on that day. And so that performance was postponed, and it was rescheduled for October 27th, 2020, because people were hopeful. And of course, it had to be postponed again. And all of 2021, just pretty much forget about it for venues here in New York City. But now the show is finally happening on Wednesday.
Yay.
Yes. we were so thrilled to do this there. And we love playing the album, the Mission. We did it a couple of times when the record came out, and it's so much fun to play. And it's like a little, it's a story from beginning to end, and we treat it that way. You know, we play it like you're putting the needle down and playing both sides of the record. And it's just a treat. We'd like to do, and now we have a new album called Crash of the Crown, and we're thinking the same things about that. We're thinking it might be fun. I don't know if we're going to do this, but we're just kind of spitballing it. You know, what if we came back to Las Vegas sometime and did either those two, you know, a couple of times each, or did like Grand Illusion, you know, Pieces of Eight, The Mission, and Crash of the Crown, kind of mix it up like that every night, and then come back and play all the other songs that you why didn't they play that? Well, then come back and play all.
Right. You come back and do the hit after hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, and just make an evening of that.
Is by the way, is spitballing it? Is that a Southern term?
It must be.
Yeah, we don't say spitballing it.
And Styx also this summer, big summer tour with REO Speedwagon. And as people say, who doesn't love a little Speedwagon? And that tour comes through our area in August, Saturday, August 20th, at the PNC Bank Arts Center, Sunday, August 21st at Jones Beach. But remember, it's the big show at the Beacon. It is Wednesday night. And of course, people who had tickets from the postponed concerts will have tickets for this performance, but there are still some available. And it's such a great, I mean, I know you love that venue and audiences love it as well. It's just a great venue.
Yeah. I love watching the Rolling Stones, the Scorsese film that they did from there. Because like I know every room that they're going into.
Mm-hmm. And there's what people may not know is there's like a room directly underneath the stage. It's like a long, wide corridor that's right underneath the stage. So if somebody has to get from the left side of the stage to the right side of the stage, but you can't walk across the stage because the performers are on it, you just go down the stairs, you walk underneath, and you come up the stairs, and you're on the other side of the stage.
That's very cool.
Unless
Hey,
you get
Tommy,
lost.
what are you most looking forward to doing when not in concert in New York City?
Well, the rest of the tour, you know.
No. In New York. I mean, what
When
do you
you're
wanna-
here,
Yeah,
when you're
here.
here.
What do you want to do for fun? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I want a slice, you know.
Uh-huh.
Start with that. And I don't know how much time we're going to have to do it. It'd be nice to be back on the Upper West Side because I lived there for 7 years.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll walk down to the old, you know, street where I used to live. And that was one of my favorite things about New York was that I didn't own a car for 7 years. So I was walking everywhere. And that's one thing I don't really get to do. You know, I live on just south of Nashville now, my wife and I do. And it is actually a cool street to walk on, but there's no shoulder. So you take your life in your hands every time you do it.
Tommy Shaw's with us from Styx. You know, you're in the Nashville area, and Nashville became like the hottest town in the whole United States
Yeah.
over the past few years. It's the new Brooklyn. I guess the two hot towns are Nashville and Austin.
Right.
I mean, it's like everything is going on in Nashville now.
It's, you know, every time we live about 15 minutes south of the city, just straight south. Every time we drive through there, it's like, I don't remember that building being there. That, you know, the skyline is just reminds me of when Atlanta started blowing up and becoming the major city that it is.
Every time I see a picture of the Nashville skyline, though, not the picture that's on the Nashville Skyline album, because that was a long time ago. That was 1969, the Bob Dylan album. But a picture of the current Nashville skyline, I think of Batman.
Yeah, the AT&T building.
Yeah, that AT&T building looks like Batman to me. It just does.
I hope they knew that they were doing that when they had to know they were doing that when they designed
You
it.
would think, yeah.
Okay, so anything else for Tommy, Shell?
I was just wondering, when you were growing up, what did you want to be? Did you always want to be a rock star?
I wanted to be a Beatle, when I first started. The first time I was ever played on stage, I played. She was just 17, and you know what I mean. I won a blue ribbon in a 4-H contest, and I looked like I had a little suit and a tie. I looked like I was in the Blues Brothers.
Aw.
You won a blue
Aw.
ribbon playing a Beatles song at a 4-H club competition.
How
That is
old were
awesome.
you? How old were you?
I was, I think, 11.
Oh, we got to see the picture of that.
Okay, so basically you're talking destiny here. You were destined to be a rock
Yeah.
star. That
Well,
was just
hey,
your
listen,
calling.
I have a picture of I remember just being this little big-headed, fat, small child, just barely old enough to talk. And my grandfather, who was retired, he went around and just for something to do, and he would load up the newspaper machines, and he would take the nickels out of them. This is how long ago it was. So he always had a pocket full of nickels. And so he would come out there and pay me to sing a song for him. And the one song I remember was oh, oh, my heart is an open book. I know nobody but you. And I was just like a little blob of a child, but I got paid. So I think that makes me a professional.
Yes, it does.
It did, and it does. Yes, Tommy Shaw.
And and Styx Beacon Theater. It is this Wednesday. There are a few tickets that are still available. Styx the Band. Well, at Styx the Band on Twitter and Instagram. And thanks for taking the time to spend with us this morning. It's always so great to spend time with you.
You literally just gave me goose pimples hearing you say those words, because you have no idea how much we're looking forward to this.
All right. Well,
So are we.
we're looking forward to welcoming you to New York. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Tommy
Tommy.
Shaw of Styx.
Thank you, Kelly. Nice to see you guys.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.